Okay, and we're back again this week. And with me, as you see, is someone new with us again in our continuous effort to expand our little group slash family slash whatever the hell you want to call it of people that will eventually hate each other. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself there?
Indeed. I am Steve Westmoots. Wes to those who know me well, Steve to those who know me online. Normally I'm not on this side of the camera. I'm normally behind a mic and, whatnot. But yes, we're here now. We saw Captain Phillips tonight.
We did see Captain Phillips. Now, before we get into it, you actually are kind of a movie reviewer alumni. I think it's kind of worth mentioning a little bit.
Oh, yes. So, a couple years ago, I wrote the movie column of the second showing for San Jose City College. And you reviewed different movies. I cranked out 2 or 3 reviews a week to them. They'd put 1 in every 6 actually in their paper, which was awesome. It's just great. Really, my work really paid off there. Really, it was just an excuse to see a lot of movies.
So, I guess our point is we actually have someone who has a vague idea of what they're doing.
Indeed. On the other hand, I do love horrible, horrible movies.
I know you're actually optimistic about Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs too.
I am still optimistic. I haven't gone and seen it yet, but after seeing some of your fiction afterwards, I can tell that it's.
I did not care for it.
It's gonna be a classic, just like Cars 2.
Why? And the hostilities already begin. Okay, so yeah, like Wes just said, we just got Captain Phillips, and why do all the good movies come out in the last 3 months of the year? Because this has been a god-awful year for movies, and finally, after all this time, we're finally getting good movies. Captain Phillips is a good movie.
I actually have a theory on this. I think all the good movies, they don't just happen in the last 3 months of the year. They happen in a 4-month span. We'll get a few really good ones in January, and that will remind us of just how horrible everything else next year will be.
Like movie 43, that was a cult classic.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm being completely sarcastic, but
I haven't seen it, so I couldn't
see it.
All right then.
It's one of the worst movies of the year, but it came out in January, so there you go.
Oh well, there you go.
I think it was like the 3rd movie we reviewed.
Nice.
But anyway, back to Captain Phillips. This is clearly Oscar bait, but
totally
with good reason. It's actually a legitimately well-written, well-acted movie. You were talking about this on the way back to the car, where basically the main problem of the movie is they gave away everything in the trailer.
Yeah, the whole story of it is in the trailer. I mean, okay, it's kind of a spoiler if you don't know the true story it's based on, but he lives. So
that's like saying, I'll spoil the Passion of the Christ for you. Jesus dies.
It's all right. He gets better. No, but I mean, he is. The whole every major plot point in the movie is given in the 90-second preview.
It is. It's ridiculous. It really is true. Granted, the way it's done is okay. Yeah, I'll answer that later.
Okay. I mean, there's quality storytelling. There's quality acting in it. It's just they gave it all away in advance. So right now, if you ignored that spoiler earlier and you have not seen the preview, go see it and it'll be amazing. You'll be shocked and you'll be like, wow! But if you've seen the preview, you have an idea of what's going to happen.
I like this character. You're
right. Yes.
Like the deep voices. I don't think you talk like this all the time. But
in a world. No. Actually, that's one of the movies I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping it's going to be good. It's likely going to be terrible.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll get look at the trailers towards the end.
Okay.
But back to Captain Phillips. Yeah, the script is very well written. It's very cleverly written. I was actually very impressed with some of the this. It was intelligent. It wasn't too obvious. It was one thing I liked about the script, they don't see too often in these kind of movies, is that pretty much all the different factions feel balanced.
Definitely.
It makes sense. The Somalians aren't played up as the straight-up evil bad guys. There's depth to it, especially in the main antagonist, I guess you can call him Muse, is what his code word is, and it's not his actual name. His actual name I won't even try to pronounce.
Well, no, it was Muse or Musi or something like
it's
that.
It's spelled Muse.
It's spelled Muse. M-U-S-E. And I think that actually was his name.
Well, that's at least what his position title was. I think
everyone kept calling him that.
Yeah, everyone kept calling. So I think that's a position title, like in the tribe he's in. But his real name is given in later in the movie, like towards the very end.
Yeah, no, they give a longer version, but that's at the end. So I don't know if it's like tagged on.
It could be just a nickname. But
turns out it's Somalian for junior.
Is it really?
No, I have no idea. Do I look like I speak Somalian?
Well, you said that with a straight face. It's like, you're a good liar, my friend.
Well, as was stated numerous times by the San Jose City College, I am not a reliable source.
So go attack Greendale. Anyway. So I guess I'll start going with the story. So the story is basically about, of course, Captain Phillips, who he only gets one scene with his wife, which I was kind of a little disappointed at.
Yeah.
Which is basically, she's only there for exposition, which is kind of disappointing, because they really could have played up that dynamic a bit more. But it's understandable, because the dynamic, the core of the movie is the dynamic between Tom Hanks' character, Captain Phillips, and Muse, whatever the hell his name is.
Well, I'm sure they saved themselves a whole bunch on payroll and casting fees and labor laws and whatnot by making certain to never actually show us Captain Phillips' kids.
Yeah, they never do show them, do they?
Like, it's referenced. He's got 2 of them.
And apparently one's a college almost dropout, from what I guess.
Or something like that. So it's like, okay, we know they exist, but we don't have any, so we don't have to worry about any young adult or child actors or anything on the set. So I guess that could have saved them some money, but
theoretically,
we're all left going, so we get to see the wife once on a drive to an airport.
Actually, I was actually a little afraid when the movie started out, because the movie starts out as Captain Phillips getting packed up ready for this trip he has to take on the boat, and I thought his wife was going to say goodbye, and she goes, okay, and then it cuts to the back, it's like, so is that all she's gonna get?
Yes.
I legitimately thought that's all she was gonna get for a second. I was like, wow, that's gotta be like the shortest goodbye wife scene I've ever seen. It's just, okay, see you at the credits. But no, they get a little exposition dialogue about basically just establishing Tom Hanks' character and like his family and all that stuff.
He's a family man. He's
an
old world captain who
has some unidentifiable accent. Do you know?
No, that's Virginia Irish.
Is it Virginia Irish?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, it's the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest accent for baseball.
Okay, you're gonna have to elaborate on that a bit more.
Well, if you think back to like the classic baseball games, it's a beautiful day for baseball here. And oftentimes those announcers, because there's a lot of baseball played in that up and down the East Coast, as it started and all, the Virginia accent is perfect for announcing baseball.
So there you go. Tom Hanks would be great at baseball. That's what I guess we're basically trying to say here.
Yes.
Anyway, so obviously they get on the ship, and right away you can tell there was a great attention to detail, at least in the script, in trying to establish a reality that we can believe in. And it shows, because like, granted, one thing that kind of bugged me is like the entire crew was kind of presented as incompetent, except for Captain Phillips. At least for the first quarter of the movie. Yeah,
no, they seem kind of half-assed.
Like, they all seem kind of lazy, kind of sitting around, like,
yeah.
Bro things. And then Captain Phillips comes in and he goes, all right, you do this, you do that. Like, I'm with that Virginia accent again.
I'm gonna whip this crew right into shape.
I think he actually says that at one point. Like, he types in an email to his wife.
Yeah, he says it to her.
Like, I got a new crew to shape up. Of course, he does actually.
Exactly.
But yeah, so then of course we go over to Muse. I'm just gonna call him Muse. Fuck it. They go over to Muse, who's basically sent up a crew to basically try kidnapping our ship, because that's again what they need to do to make payroll. That's what I kind of like about this movie. Again, they're not displayed as straight up evil. They're displayed as like actual people. Like, Muse is not a bad guy. He just does bad things.
Well, we get the idea that while he might not be a good guy, his boss is definitely a worse guy.
Yeah, that seems to be the implication anyway. Like, they call him like a fucking Somalian warlord at one point.
Yeah.
By the SEALs. And by the way, the moral of the story is don't fuck with the U.S. Navy SEALs.
It's true. Navy SEALs are badass, and piratism never pays.
Unless you're Johnny Depp, in which case it pays in millions of dollars.
That's a good point, actually. So piratism never pays unless you're French. I guess that's all the French have going for them.
Oh God! I'm gonna this is gonna find the French community, and I'm just gonna get thousands of I don't know the French talk.
Should I just start telling jokes about the French people?
We already have tons of jokes about Nemo to get into later.
Oh my gosh, Nemo!
I know you had like 1,000 more. You could have easily spat out the rest of the movie with those jokes.
Oh God!
But we'll get to that in a bit. So what happens is, of course, they go out. They find out basically that Tom Hanks's boat is the only one basically alone and not around other ships. So they go for that one, and this boat and Tom Hanks sees them come from a mile away. So he immediately starts setting up. He does a smart thing. He has them run safety drills before they even show up. Which, again, was smart. It's a smart movie.
Exactly. He is preparing. He's an intelligent captain.
Like, he knows the Somalian pirates out there. Like, he's seen the warning, so he's preparing just in case. And sure enough, Somalian pirates show up. And I really love the kind of cat and mouse game they kind of play with each other. You know, is that?
Oh yeah, no, they definitely take longer for the pirates to get there than I initially anticipated.
Yeah, like they kind of play kind of like Tom Hanks is trying to fool them and they trying to fool him and stuff like that.
It would be incredibly suspenseful if you hadn't seen the preview and therefore knew they're gonna get on the ship.
Again, quite true. I still thought it was very sensible for what we have. Although I think I made a joke to you, which is a part where Muse and Tom Hanks see each other through the binoculars and they're just staring at each other.
Yes.
And there's a part that's like, wouldn't it just be great if Tom Hanks just looked through the binoculars and just went... just kept looking through the binoculars.
Exactly.
Just to piss him off, like, you're gonna get my shit, motherfucker. Yeah. Granted, you can't say motherfucker because it's a PG-13 movie.
It's true. That is an unfortunate truth.
Yes, and my version of Captain Phillips would be much better.
Well, that's for the sequel because, you know, at the end of the film we find out that he's gone back on the water, so we're going to have Captain Phillips 2, Captain Harder.
That sounds like a porno. Oh no, Somalian.
You know, that's
hot
the
Somalian. Oh no, hot Somalian pirates have boarded the ship. What are we gonna do, Captain?
Played by Johnny Depp.
Bring me my red shirt. I was gonna make a fucking pirate joke until review.
Yep.
Like, you expect us to take anything seriously at this point, unless it's like the Hunt review again, in which we actually have to talk about it seriously. We mostly just stick around in the car for 30 minutes. Anyway.
You know, I mean, let's face it, they're pirates, not one of them has a parrot. There are no eye patches.
Or peg leg.
Well, at the end, the one guy might need a peg leg.
Good point.
Sorry, spoilers.
Okay, so what happens is they actually don't make it the first attempt they get on there. Again, which I thought was actually kind of cool.
It's true, yeah.
That they failed the first time. And of course, there was a couple Somalian pirates that were obviously the over-the-top bad guys. Like, there's the first one that Muse has to deal with, which is kind of like the other kind of leader guy who's just a complete jackass from the very beginning. And surprise, surprise, Muse beats the shit out of him with a wrench. Actually, only takes one hit. He doesn't even have to do it twice.
Yeah, no, it's just, yeah.
Just goes, I think he's like he stands up to one, but he goes, what do you say? What do you say? He puts the gun in his face, grabs a wrench, goes, BAM! And that's it. He's dead.
Which just goes to show you, if you're going to threaten someone with a gun, do it at 20 feet.
In some cases, a knife can win the gunfight.
Exactly. You know,
or in this case, a really heavy fucking wrench.
Yes.
But so he takes command, and of course, again, he's displayed as a very kind of rational, intelligent human being. He knows what he's doing. He's not an idiot. He knows when they're playing games against him. He knows when he's trying to be manipulated, and it's almost kind of enjoyable to watch, like, him and Captain Phillips kind of work off each other because they do work each other very well.
It's true, yeah, no, there's this great back and forth between the two of them throughout most of the movie.
Yeah, when they finally get on board. Even before they get on board. Like, the cat and mouse stuff is great. When Captain Phillips, I thought was really clever was in Captain Phillips, he does that thing over the phone where he knows they're here over the radio.
His expert voice acting, where here I'm Wes, and now I'm someone else.
To elaborate on that, what he does is he picks up a phone, he pretends he's calling like the U.S. Navy or something like that.
Yeah, he's radioing a battleship of some kind.
He says, we have pirates on the coast, like, how far can you get here? And then he covers his hand with his mouth, and he just goes, oh, we can be there in about 5 minutes, without really making any effort to change his voice.
Exactly.
But it was clever. It was a clever technique, and it worked to get the crazy other pirate ship off his back, but The Muse guy isn't taking any of that shit.
It's true. The jerk. This is pre-wrench. But
pre-wrench.
The pre-wrenched asshole turns around and runs away because he's a coward, and which leads to the whole altercation where
leads to
yes.
post-wrench. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That should be like a one of those timelines with like BC and AD.
Right.
When it's
I feel terrible bringing this up, but because it's not a horror movie at all. But like because he gets taken out with the wrench, the black guy dies first.
Really?
I'm sorry, this makes me a bad person, I know.
It's not the worst thing we said on this show.
And the night is young.
Fair point. Anyway, no, unless you make dead kid jokes like I did, I don't think you could do much worse than that.
No. Let's go back to the French.
Oh, if it was the French, their pirates would have gone on right away. You know?
Exactly. They'd have been far more successful with their ghost ships and whatnot.
They'd probably get on there with lightsabers. Anyway, South Park joke.
All right.
Anyway, so where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. And one thing that kind of bugged me is, like, what's our big fancy defense plan for our ship? Fucking squirt guns. Like,
it's true. Now, if you had men manning them or controlling them remotely or something, so that you could aim them at the boat, it's true. Those fire hoses actually can screw up a small craft like they're on.
But these are Somalian pirates with fucking guns. Like at least like a gun, like anything would have been useful in this case. Even an old-fashioned pirate cannon would have been great at that point, but no, nothing, just fucking squirt guns. And there's a part where Tom Hanks does call the Navy people, we suspect Somalian pirates, and they goes, all right, sir, just attach your water hoses and just try to lock everything down. There's a pause, and he goes, is that it? It's like, that's all you're gonna do?
I'm already doing that.
It's like, well, they're probably just fishermen, sir. And it's like, they're not fishermen, click. And then, which becomes like kind of a running joke.
I kind of have to wonder, though. Like, he says that and then just hangs up. What if the European woman on the other side of that call is just like, oh my gosh, sir, in that case, I need a more... Sir? Sir!
Snake! Snake! Snake!
Unfortunately, due to a slight error in the caller ID, they spent the rest of the movie completely incapable, despite their efforts, to call the ship back.
Was that really what the reason was?
No, I have no idea. I am not a reliable source.
Make that your tagline.
Exactly. That
Wes, the unreliable source. One of these days, when we finally get a budget, we're gonna make an intro video for everybody, and that's gonna be your tagline. Wes, the unreliable source.
Unreliable source man. Hoi!
Chris, the man who hates everything. Raj, the short Indian dude.
He's got to have something more to...
I know, I'm just giving him shit.
There's got to be something else there.
Hey, well,
we'll think of it later.
We can discuss this later. Back to the movie. God damn it.
He's going to kick our ass.
Oh, trust me, he's not watching this.
On the other hand, he's your boss, so who cares?
No, in this, he's my bitch in this territory.
Well, here, yes, but, that doesn't mean he can't make there a pain.
Deal with that when it comes. I had to think about that for a second. It's like, he's got a point.
So yes, needless to say, the pirates eventually do get on board. Yeah. That, as the preview shows, the captain tells the crew to hide, and you know the ship better, and don't let them find important things like the generator. I don't know why them finding the generator would have been bad. Like the engine controls he mentions, that makes sense. But the generator, I guess.
Well, maybe he didn't know if they made like supervillains, and they might use it to like gain more power or something. I don't know.
Maybe like. If they turn on the generator, then they'll really be able to crank the sound system. And as we all know, Somalian pirates are big fans of this Chinese food song.
How many ethnic groups can we piss off in one review? Let's find out.
Well, no, that song is really bad.
I don't know what it is, but...
I guess, no, this was further in the past. Maybe it was like the Friday song at that point.
Okay. So yeah, obviously they get on there, and this is where the cat and mouse play, the game between Tom Hanks and Muse really comes into play. As Tom Hanks is continuously trying to basically kind of keep him away from the
From the rest of his crew.
From the rest of the crew, and the rest of the crew are basically trying to find more ways to fuck with the pirates. It's only 4 of them, so they have advantage in numbers in this case.
Oh yeah.
The only difference is they have the guns, and again, the way they deal with the pirates is very clever. Like the one guy like drops a pipe somewhere, it distracts one guy off, so he climbs the ladder where he was guarding.
He's able to run around. Although I will honestly admit this is one of those situations where it's a good thing I wasn't directing.
Why?
Because for me, I would have spent another like 45 minutes on this whole situation and gone straight up Home Alone on it.
It was like, that thought
you'd have
crossed
had
my
swinging
mind.
paint cans and
That thought crossed my mind. Like, this is adult Home Alone. It's
superheated doorknobs. I don't care. Like, go with it.
But like, it turns out like one of the passengers, one of the pirates, is barefoot, so they break some glass in front of the engine door to like, and of course he steps on it, like just like Home Alone hijinks.
Exactly. It's like, ah!
And he's basically out of commission for the rest of the movie, pretty much.
Yep.
Until, spoiler, he inevitably gets shot with everyone else. But
it's true.
And just like, again, don't fuck with the Navy SEALs.
Yes.
But and of course, they even capture Muse, which I thought actually kind of surprised me. I mean, I thought it'd been stupid if they didn't do this, but I was still surprised they actually captured him. Like, what happens is after Die Hard guy steps on the glass.
Yes.
Tom Hanks takes him back up to the bridge to get a first aid kit. And then, of course, at that point... Oh, it's worth noting also, there's another very obvious bad guy pirate in this movie, which is the strong man of the group, who has a crazy set of crazy screaming and crazy eyes.
He's got scars up next to his eye, and they note that he's from another village. Why should we have him on the crew?
I don't know why that's important. I just know every time he screams, he goes, oh, like his eyes get like super wide. Like,
it's true, he does do that.
Like, which kind of freaked me out. Oh, and here's one thing that really bothered me. And I don't know if you noticed this, but can we keep the camera still for 2 goddamn seconds? Hell, give me one fucking second where the camera isn't moving.
Well, they're on the ocean, man. It's swaying back and forth.
No, even before then, like when they're in the goddamn car, the camera would not stop fucking jiggling, and it was driving my OCD-ness insane. It's like the Hunger Games all over again. That's all I can fucking think about.
I really want to take this in like a different route and not be like it's not you referencing the Hunger Games movie, but like in your childhood you were somehow in the Hunger Games, and there was a shaky cam, and that was the most traumatizing part of it for you. Killing the other 11 kids, whatever.
There was a movie
of the Hunger Games? You were in it.
This is a game called Improv. We're trying to see how far we can take this. Okay.
You and Kevin Bacon.
Kevin.
He's not dead.
He's not?
We have to tell you this every week.
Are you sure?
It's like
I thought he would kill himself after the following. I don't know.
We all hoped so, but it never happened.
Okay, back to the movie. About Hunger Games and Kevin Bacon. I'll ask you where that came from later.
All right.
That's when we fought George Washington against the demon hunters. Anyway, so Muse goes in the generator room alone. They turn off all the power. It's pitch black. And of course, they do the obvious thing, which they distract him from one angle and they tackle him from the other. Which again, I thought they would have been retarded if they didn't do this, and I'm kind of glad they did, because like, if they didn't, you clearly outnumber him. Oh, yeah. You could very easily take him out, and they do. And of course, crazy strongman Somalian pirate comes in and starts yelling at Tom Hanks, and he goes, I'll take you with me, I'll give you, like... Apparently they went for millions, but they only got like 3,000 out of this. So I was like,
yeah, they got 30,000 in the safe, but the... guy from other village is not okay with just 30,000. He wants millions.
He wants all the money. And it's like, of course, he can't eat, which he doesn't get. So they end up, basically, long story short, they enter in like a hostage trade, except they betray Tom Hanks after they get Muse back, and they take off in the lifeboat. Which, again, you saw in the trailer.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, the pirates are in the lifeboat with Tom Hanks. If only I'd had a 90-second set of clips to tell me this was going to... Oh, wait.
I like how that's... If I could describe any life situation like that, like, oh my god, I have a test on Tuesday. If only I have a 90-second clip that can tell me how's... Oh, wait. I'm gonna fail.
All I remember is a big red F. I really hope this is them playing on the audience, and the teacher just hadn't put the last line on the A yet.
And oddly enough, I'm played by Kevin Bacon.
It all comes full circle.
And Wes is played by John Goodman.
That would be amazing.
I love John Goodman. Yes. We have gone so it's like the most off topic we've gone on in a long time.
Well, I'm proud to be a part of it.
It's all fun. Anyway, so now pretty much the whole rest of the movie takes place on the lifeboat. First, basically how the Somalian pirates try to survive with each other, pretty much, with Tom Hanks as crazy Somalian pirate gets crazier and crazier and crazier after the movie. Die-hard guy with glass in his foot is losing more and more feeling in his foot.
Yes, but it's getting more and more sympathetic towards Tom Hanks' character, Captain Phillips, after he bandages up his foot.
Yeah, and
so
he's willing to help him out.
Humanity aspect in this.
Yeah, and of course that's how he kind of turns towards more kind of Phillips side, and also gets a chance for Tom Hanks and Muse to really kind of connect in a way where they have this really weird dynamic where I don't know, it's like almost like a mutual respect for each other. I think you can say.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, again, I really liked their dynamic. It was a fascinating little dynamic they had there. I loved watching that play out to the full extent it does.
Exactly.
Even though Tom Hanks knows exactly how this is going to end. Like, like he's not fooled by anything. Like, he knows exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's convinced the whole time he's going to die.
Pretty much. And that comes into play, especially when things get really heated when the SEALs show up. Because what happens is the Navy intercepts first. And basically they have like a very limited window to try to negotiate with the pirates before the Navy SEALs come in and basically try to take care of everything.
Exactly.
Which implies that they're going to kill fucking everybody.
Yes.
Which I thought, I was worried they were going to make the government look like the bad guy in this movie. Which they don't entirely.
Yeah, no, I mean, there are a number of moments throughout the movie from all people in the cast, which just kind of like unwarranted moments of being an asshole. Yeah, I mean, like, even with Captain Phillips, at one point he gets out of the boat to take a piss. The guy with the injured foot is already out there keeping an eye on things. And he goes, oh yes, the salt water will be good for your foot.
And then, shoves him in the water.
Jumps off the boat in the other direction. I guess it's trying to like distract so that they don't just shoot him. But it's just like, all right, this is the one guy who's sympathetic towards you. And you shove him in the ocean.
That's kind of a good
with an injured foot.
My first thought was like, oh my god, is Tom Hanks going to pee in this movie too? I'm strangely excited about that.
It's straight on.
Well, it's because he pees in every movie. It's kind of a running joke.
Does he really?
Like, it's in a Crack.com article. Is a joke about Tom Hanks pees in almost every movie he's in.
Fascinating.
There's a urination scene with Tom Hanks. Not that I want to see that necessarily, but it would have been kind of funny.
Instead, you get the one topless scene in the whole movie.
Oh, yeah, where I think I was, wow, it must be cold in there.
Yes, exactly.
Because turkey's done. Yeah. Anyway.
Tom Hanks, loses his shirt.
While he's trying to swim away.
Much to swoon all the young women in the audience.
Oh, yeah, because Tom Hanks is really the ladies' man. He used to be back in his Forrest Gump days.
It's true. But now a man in his early 50s who's in moderate condition. Man, nothing drives the ladies wild like that.
Oh, yeah. Gets me all hot under the collar. Anyway.
You are not a lady. You are Kevin Bacon.
I was. Just kidding. No, not true. Don't spread rumors.
I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm not gonna argue.
It's a good thing I'm not like well known. It's like next day, Michael the comic nerd used to be Vanessa.
3 months later.
I'm gonna pay hard for this shit later at some point in my life. I just know it.
Oh yes.
And like someone's gonna find this at some point in the future, and you go, "Hey, Michael, remember this?" Click. Oh, fuck you, family.
He'll drop to his knees and be like, Steve!
Snake! And Wilson!
I really wanted Wilson to have like a background appearance somewhere in the movie, like just put volleyball somewhere in it for fun. If I was on crew, once again, it's a good thing I was not a part of making this movie.
Just start a fucking volleyball somewhere in the distance. That would have been great. But unfortunately, we don't get that. I like how there's one point I wanted him to yell Wilson, and I leaned over to you to make that.
Yes, exactly.
And there's a part where I just made one joke, and you start coming with one pun after another, which is when
they're in the lifeboat, and they get contacted on the radio by a guy who actually speaks Somalian, or whatever the proper term for the language is.
Yeah.
And they're all like, "Who is this?" And he's like, "This is Nemo." And so, of course...
I leaned over to you and said, oh, look, it's Captain Nemo, and then you come back with...
Yes, Finding Nemo. This time, Nemo found you.
Oh, God.
I proceeded to make a number of other horrible puns until he told me to stop.
Because I hate puns.
But puns are wonderful.
No, they're not.
It's just my way of clown fishing around.
Where's the towel? I have a towel in here somewhere. Ow! There you go. All right. God damn it. Fucking puns.
Hey, I can make more.
I know you can. Don't. Okay. So you would have fucking loved Cloudy too.
Oh, yes! No, puns are fantastic. That's why
No, they're not. They're fucking lazy.
What do you mean?
Anyone can make a goddamn pun. It's like the expert to make it funny.
It's true. No, it takes an expert. You want to put them all together. You want to have a number of them. You want to create a story using puns. It's a play on words.
We're gonna talk about this later. Stop laughing at me, you Michael Fiend. So Nemo talks to the pirates on the say lifeboat. Dear God in heaven.
Tries to negotiate.
Fails.
No luck.
They aren't taking any of that shit at this point.
Exactly. That's not going to work out until the seals show up later when it inexplicably totally works.
Yeah, I guess at that you can argue that they're at that point they've been on that boat for so fucking long. I'm gonna roll down that window. It's hot as hell here.
I have that effect. My bad.
Okay. So
and now we have an echo.
This happens from time to time. Don't worry, that doesn't pop up in the video. But everyone in the garage kind of wonder what the hell we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, negotiations.
Yes.
So, again, once the SEALs finally show up, and they basically take control of everything at that point.
Yep.
Like the badasses they are, they have the whole game plan, and then they say they have their money. That's when that's what gets their attention. Because at that point, I think the people just wanted to get anything good out of this. And then and of course, obviously, it's an ambush. Everyone knows it's a trap.
The pirates are like, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yes.
Had to be said. Anyway.
Yes.
But and then they finally get Muse off the boat and into the main ship, I guess, whatever you call it. And at that point, they decide, okay, now that we got him out, we're gonna fucking kill everybody else.
Exactly. So they gotta wait to line up the shot on. But in the meanwhile, like they lead Muse into this room where they surround him and they tell him to wait because the elders are coming.
The elders was trying.
And then after everything has transpired, they're like, no! And they jump on him and they arrest him and everything. But
what were they waiting for?
That seemed like it took a good 15, 20 minutes. So how long, theoretically, Muse stood there for 15, 20 minutes, just surrounded by a circle of guys staring at him.
That's actually kind of... The way the camera is looking right now, it looks very creepy. That's even scarier. Yeah. You're a very scary man.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Hey, kids.
Anyway, that's gonna sound really weird with this echo.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, people are like, "Holy fuck, what is that?" We need to get the hell out of here. The Joker's in the fucking garage.
All right.
I'm having way too much fun here today.
Definitely. So. But yeah, so the SEALs save Captain Phillips. Of course, they take out the pirates just as they're about to kill Captain Phillips. So he's blindfolded. Suddenly he is covered in the pirate's blood and is freaking out. And,
for good reason, I'd say is a pretty good reason.
Yeah, his mouth was open.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Exactly. I mean, otherwise, it's just like. Yeah.
But I think another point to make this too is like at that point, again, Tom Hanks knows what's going on, and he's making trying to make last-minute preparations in case he does actually die. Like he's writing a letter to his family. Like he finds a piece of paper and it's a pen, and he starts writing to his family, basically saying a goodbye letter. Crazy Somalian pirate finds out, and Tom Hanks surprisingly almost gets the upper hand on him until other diehard Somalian comes up and hits him in the back with a gun.
Yep, exactly.
And it's like, wow, Tom Hanks for his age can still kick a surprising amount of ass.
Exactly. Use momentum and whatnot.
And all that shit. So. But anyway, of course, then the Navy SEALs line them all up at the same time, just before they about to shoot Tom Hanks, and bam, they're all dead, just like in 5 seconds. Which again, don't fuck with the SEALs, is the moral of the story.
SEALs are the most dangerous creatures in all of nature.
And here you have your Marine in his natural habitat. Notice his anger at the cameraman. Notice how the cameraman is running away now.
U.S. military, please don't come after me.
Well, here we have the Navy SEAL. Now look, he found a ball. Now he's playing with the ball. He's bouncing on his nose. Now the Navy's coming after me.
Yes, I'm not gonna make jokes about the Navy and playing with balls. Moving on. Anyways.
Oh, fuck the cops.
I make one joke. So I'll get them to go away. We'll go back to French jokes.
There you go. I'll scare them off.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, okay, you guys are all right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty much the movie at that point. And the rest of it is just last few shots of Tom Hanks dealing with shock, which was done surprisingly well.
Yeah, no, it's all very well acted. Throughout the whole movie, there's great acting, great storytelling. It's just the vast majority of it.
You already know.
You know from the preview.
But it does a good job of building suspense. It does a good job of building characters. It takes its time. It doesn't rush anything. And it's just very smart, intelligently delivered. That's what it really comes down to.
And I get the feeling like when this comes out on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, if you're a fan of Tom Hanks and, the story of it all, it might be worth owning, if only for when you have a friend who's a fan of dramas and you mention it and they're like, I've never heard of that movie. Suddenly you have something to show them because they have no idea.
Now, I guess I heard the real Captain Phillips is a little pissed off with this movie because of course, with any kind of fictional, with any kind of based on a true story kind of movie, they kind of took their liberties with it.
I hadn't heard that.
I don't know if piss is the right word, but I know there was some talk about that. That's that's not really the way it happened. But again, it's like with Argo. There's some liberties taking place.
Oh yeah, it's true. But,
or like Amadeus, or any one of those, any kind of based on a true story.
Anytime it's based on a true story.
There's some. It's like The Exorcist, for example, is based on a true story.
It's true.
But
no, that's legit, actually.
Really? Yeah. No. Oh, yeah, I remember that day. I was my next door neighbor there.
It was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday. 9 o'clock at night. I'm trying to sleep. Suddenly I hear Mother Suck Cocks in Hell from next door, and like, oh god, she's at it again. But then things got crazy. Anyway, I guess we should move on to trailers then.
Okay. Yes.
So surprisingly, we got all new trailers. All 4 of them were ones I have not seen before.
Really? Okay.
So I was legitimately surprised.
I was amazed at the amount of Nazis in the trailers.
Well, only one had Nazis, didn't it?
2 of them did.
2 of them?
Yeah, no.
I wrote them down because I was smart. Oh, that's right, 2 of them did have Nazis. All right, the first one we got was for Ender's Game, which surprisingly I've not got a trailer for at this point.
Really? Okay.
Surprisingly,
I haven't seen that one for a while, and that looks pretty good. There are no Nazis in that, to my knowledge.
Unless the aliens might be Nazis.
Yeah, true.
Which might be kind of awesome and weird. With Harrison Ford versus alien Nazis. Who would have seen that coming? Anyway.
Shock and dismay. Actually, with Harrison Ford, I wouldn't be surprised if there were Nazis.
I don't know if it's just Harrison Ford going into old age or if that's all if he's always looked this way, but do you get the feeling he'd rather be somewhere else all the time?
I kind of almost get the idea that he's either he loves acting and we just can't tell anymore, or he's entered into a similar situation to Chevy Chase with Community, where he still needs the money.
You think after Indiana Jones and Star Wars, again, he'd be richer than God, but apparently, I don't know. But either way,
he's kidding. Morgan Freeman makes a lot of money.
Much. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, see what I did there?
Oh, because now I get it.
There we go.
Very funny. Look, you think he's so funny, this guy right here.
But there's more to me than my looks.
Okay, Goodman. All right, back.
All right.
So I don't know how I feel about Ender's Game. I saw some display stuff for it at Comic-Con. It looked pretty cool. It's one of those things I'm going to kind of wait. I'm kind of taking a wait and see approach to it because right now I just don't know how I feel about it.
Good book. We'll see how they do on turning it into a movie.
Yeah, so we'll see. Next one we got was for All Is Lost, which is if you took Castaway but made it all no, not Castaway. What's it? No,
it's not Castaway. It's literally the movie where the guy dies slowly.
Pretty much. Basically, it seems to be... who's the guy who stars in it?
Oh, is it Redford?
Redford, yeah, it was Redford. Okay. Robert Redford. Basically stars in this movie where he's on a ship, and I can tell you right now, the moral of the story is, whenever you're sailing anywhere, go with at least one other person.
Definitely.
It's the Navy. They found us. Anyway.
Every time a new ship showed up.
Arv. See, I can do sounds too.
Anyways.
Okay, but the entire trailer, they kept throwing quotes in there because I guess it was at an indie festival, and it's like, his performance is stunning, this is amazing, blah, 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 all those adjectives. So the entire time, he's like taking this whole "my boat is sinking, I might die" thing rather passively. Like, how much you
There were quite a few clips of him carrying around the raft.
Like, and he literally,
before inflating it also, like
he just chucked it over on a chair, like, while he was like getting towards, like, oh, my boat's sinking. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna check my taxes first before I get on my raft. And that's kind of
buckle in here with my raft next to me. That's how I'm supposed to use this thing, right?
No. What the hell am I supposed to use this for? Oh, okay, I should go take care of that.
Maybe none of this would have happened if I knew how to sail a ship.
Instead of, fall asleep and let it crash into, like, a cargo container, which is what happened to the trailer. Which, where the fuck that came from is anybody's guess. But
I feel like that's going to be the real suspense in the movie, is where the fuck did the cargo container come from with all the shoes in it?
Is that what that was? Shoes?
Yeah, there was a bunch of, like, tennis shoes coming out of it. But anyways, check out the trailer.
Nike. Blame it all on Nike. Again, moral of the story, bring one other person to whenever you sail anywhere.
Yes.
And the next trailer we got, which is a movie I'm actually looking forward to, which is Monuments Men.
Oh, of course. I mean, all-star cast.
Just the cast, like, two of my favorites right there. It has John Goodman and Bill Murray. That's all I would have to get me in the theater anyway. But you also have George Clooney, and you have
Matt Damon.
I almost said Wahlberg. Matt Wahlberg. There you go. Blend the two together. They keep confusing each other anyway. So.
Oh, my God.
So I got Matt Damon, George Clooney, John Goodman, Bill Murray. All actors I fucking love in this movie. So, like, okay, I'm already there. And even then, fucking John Goodman has, like, the best line in the trailer, too. Or, like, at the very end of the trailer, when Matt Damon actually steps on a mine, George Clooney comes in and he goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, I stepped on a landmine. He goes, "Why the hell woid you do that?" And then John Goodman comes in and goes,
"What's going on?" George Clooney's like, "He seems to have stepped on a undetonated landmine." John Goodman's like, "Well, why would you do that?" Matt Damon's like, "You guys are spending too much time together."
It's like that. Why do people want my attention now?
So we're going to see a similar thing happen in the next few reviews, as you will start enjoying puns.
Or that, or I'm going to kill... You're going to see the world's shortest review of just... Watch everyone get... Oh. Just got really dark.
And gallows humor. Literally!
Anyway, we have way too much fun. Okay, so Monuments Men, I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm so surprised Bill Murray didn't actually have any lines in the trailer. So except for one. He had one very, like, a little help here was his only line in the trailer. So, like, hopefully he has more to do than that.
Yes.
But in the meantime, last one we got, which, I don't know how I feel about this one, The Book Thief.
It looks like it's going to be a drama. It may once again be Oscar bait.
I don't know, it seems like, it seems almost like trying to be too quirky, is the right...
Exactly. I don't know if it's going to be...
It's trying to be whimsical with Nazis, and it just kind of feels weird.
Whimsical with Nazis has not been done properly since The Sound of Music.
True. For honest to God, for most of the trailer, I thought this was like the Diary of Anne Frank or something.
Yeah, no, I thought it was like some weird leading into it. I'm like, Anne Frank wasn't blonde.
They kept mentioning, like, diaries and books and spellings, like, so I was like, is this Anne Frank? That's all I could think of. I would not think The Book Thief was what this movie was, but there it is. I don't know. My hopes aren't high. I just know I got one good joke out of it.
It's true.
It's the part where, like, the father is played by Barbosa.
Yes, exactly.
So, of course, this is like, don't trust me. So he stole the Black Pearl from the Nazis.
Yes.
Of course,
and we're back to French pirates.
Oh, dear God. Okay, I think we should stop there because we're not getting any more than that.
All right.
So, final thoughts on the movie.
Well made, but not. There was no
surprise.
A lot of the suspense was lost because of how much the trailer showed. But otherwise, solid movie. I'd give it 9, 8.5.
Yeah.
Pretty high marks.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely Oscar bait,
Yeah, I would definitely say Oscar bait. I still think it's a very good movie. It's very well acted. It's very well written. It does a good job of pace and suspense. It is a very well made movie, and it's definitely worth checking out. I think that's pretty much my final thoughts on the movie. So unless you have any last things you want to say.
No.
No?
No.
All right, in that case.
I could make more puns.
Good night, everybody. Dun, 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 dun.